What's up, everybody? If you are considering moving to Hamilton, make sure you know these 10 things before you pull the trigger. But before we get into that, my name is Justin Little, and I am a local real estate agent here in Hamilton, Ontario. And I love making educational videos about the market and all the fun content that is entailed in everything Hamilton. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and ding that bell so you get notified every time a new video comes up. As well, you can tune into the podcast version of this wherever you get your podcasts. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, tons of other places. So if you'd rather listen to me than watch me, that's okay too. Let's dive into these 10 secrets. So, secret number 1. Sports are huge in Hamilton, and one sport specifically I want to touch on, and that's the Hamilton Tiger Cats. It is massive, and the game days around the stadium reflect that. So if you're moving to Hamilton and you're looking at properties close to the stadium, one thing to understand is that when the Ticats are playing, there will be congestion. There will be people parking on the street. There will be people parking on front lawns. You'll see cars everywhere, lots of foot traffic. So just be prepared for that if you're living close to the stadium. Of course, that comes with the pro of being walking distance to the stadium yourself, or renting out your driveway or your front lawn for 20, 25 bucks a car, making a little bit of extra cash there, maybe paying for your tickets so you can walk over to the game and enjoy it. But game days are huge in Hamilton, so know that if you're looking at a house close to the stadium. As well, the area is expanding very fast, so be sure to expect for that change. Like, there is a lot of expansion happening around Hamilton. If you're buying up on the Stony Creek Mountain or Lower Stony Creek, those areas especially, there's a lot of new development going on. So even though you might be in an area that you don't have a lot of neighbors right now, that could change because Hamilton is expanding, just trying to keep up with the housing for the amount of population that we have coming here. Number 3, there's a thriving social scene. So we have lots of festivals and lots of microbreweries and restaurants, but to touch on the festivals specifically, we have some very large ones. You've probably heard of our largest one, which is Super Crawl, and we have tens of thousands of people come out to this festival. James Street North shuts down entirely, so that is something that you need to know if you're moving into the area around James Street North. Again, very similar to the game day. You can either be close to all the action, or you might say, you know what, I don't want to live somewhere that there's festivals or lots going on, because they even do art crawls every Friday too in the summer, every first Friday of the month throughout the summer. So that's something pretty cool too. But there is a lot going on. If you like festivals, there's going to be a lot for you. Lock Street has a festival. There's the Cactus Festival down in Dundas. So lots of really cool stuff going on there. So just be aware that there is stuff to do. Our social scene is thriving. As well, construction is everywhere. I know I kind of touched on this. I touched on the expansion, but let's talk about construction more in depth, because there is a lot of road work happening and a lot of proposed projects. If you're living near the waterfront in the north end, you're going to have to expect that there is a lot of construction, like condos that are going to go in, townhouses, the whole waterfront promenade. So living near there, you may be faced with some inconveniences. As well, if you're living along the LRT path or planning to use that road, or light rail transit that's coming supposedly, if you use that as a main access to get to and from places, just know that you might be inconvenienced by the traffic, or when they're ripping up the roads to make the improvements to put the LRT in. As well, property taxes might surprise you. So one of the first things when I'm showing properties to people from out of town, they look at it and they say, why are the taxes so high on this property? When I'm looking at it and thinking, well, that's normal, and these might actually be low for the city. For some reason, Hamilton has the highest property taxes in southern Ontario. They are just astronomical, but I guess it's reflected in our home prices. If you go to places like Burlington or Oakville, you'll pay more for a house. You'll have cheaper property taxes. Here, you'll pay a little bit less for a house, but your property taxes will be higher in Hamilton, so don't let that surprise you. As well, the locals are very friendly. As long as you know where you're living, like you're living in the areas that the locals are friendly. Hamilton is a very pocketed city, and I always try to explain to people it's really weird because you can literally go 3-4 blocks in the wrong direction and end up in a neighborhood that's a little bit sketchy. But I'd say probably 95% of Hamilton, you're going to find friendly people. If you get into these areas, especially lower parts of Hamilton, some of them with the character homes, you get a real sense of community where people will stick together, help each other out, and you get really kind people. I know every area that I've lived in on the mountain, Mountain, Stony Creek, Ancaster. There's always just been friendly neighbors. We've all gotten along, and it's just been really, really cool. So there are a lot of really friendly people in Hamilton, despite what you may have heard, especially if you're coming from Toronto. I don't know why we get a lot of judgment out of Toronto. Our food scene is very serious. That's number 7. So we have an incredible amount of really cool restaurants with amazing ambiance, amazing menus, amazing food items. So you don't want to sleep on these restaurants. They are phenomenal. You're going to have lots to do when you come to the city, lots of places to eat out. There are tons of award-winning restaurants. We have pizza places that have won international pizza awards, stuff like that. So you just want to make sure that if you're coming to the city, you know that there are restaurants that will keep you busy for years and years if you try to eat out at all of them. So that is something amazing as well. Number 8, the weather here is unpredictable, so be prepared for all seasons. Now, this one, not necessarily if you're coming from Hamilton, but if you're coming from elsewhere, our weather gets wild in Canada, Southern Ontario especially. You could be wearing shorts one day, and then the next week you are wearing like 17 layers of clothing. Canadians, we love talking about the weather so much. I think it's we're the country that talks about the weather the most. And I think it's because we have just insane fluctuations of weather throughout our seasons, but also within the seasons. Like there's some days in the spring you could wake up, it's winter in the morning, it's summer in the afternoon, and then it's like spring at nighttime. Like it's just all over the place. So just be prepared for how crazy the weather gets around here. Number 9, the housing market is competitive, so you need to act fast on good properties. I know a lot of the sentiment out there is that the market is sleeping, when in reality, the homes that are nice, the nice homes that are priced well, they still sell fast. I'm still selling houses in 24 hours. And that's because when a good house comes to market, it goes quick if it's priced well, right? So if you are looking in the area, just be prepared that you may not have to rush, but if you do see a really nice home at a good price, you're going to need to act fast on it because it will still sell. Number 10, community life is central. Local events and involvement are super common. So Hamilton's community is one of the best when it comes to charity, volunteers, helping out, all the different programs and networks and all that get involved in the community. There is a large network within Hamilton. I myself am a Rotarian, so I help giving back to the community, and there are lots of other organizations in Hamilton that do that as well. So if you're somebody that likes to give back, get involved in the community, there are lots of options for you. So I hope you found these 10 secrets valuable. Again, if this is your first time on the channel, hit that subscribe so you don't miss content like this. As well, be sure to like and comment. And as well, if you do have questions, you can either hit the link in the description below to book a call with me at a time that's convenient for you, or shoot me a text on the cell number below. Anyways, until next time, take care.